Yeah.
Okay, we'll open the policy. The approval of the November 16th voice needs to be reading.
So moved.
Second.
Anybody have any discussion around the minutes? All those in favor of approving them?
Aye.
All those opposed? So tonight for policies for first reading, we have policy JCA, change of school or assignment, which has a minor change.
Yep, I do not have my color copy, so I'm trying to find it. It's pretty minor, and this was just an updated recommendation. And it is,
I don't remember. I left
They're
my-
adding an annual review of manifest hardship determination.
yep, so, right, so that adds the opportunity for the board to review every year any, thank you. Any manifest hardship determination, but the board can waive that if the board feels like they don't need to do that. The other change is right above that. The transportation is not the responsibility of the district to another reassignment to another school or district unless the state board requires that. So those are the only changes.
Any discussion? No?
Make a motion to send this to full board for first reading.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. And policies for second reading, we have policy GBCD, criminal history and background checks with major changes.
This was the one we looked at last time that hadn't been updated for quite a while, so there's a lot of similarity to the previous version, but there had been a number of, I essentially, changed quite a bit of the wording to fit the most recent I'll make sure all the requirements were included.
Yeah?
Make a motion to send to the full board for second reading and adoption.
Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Passes. 5-year plan.
Oh.
What?
The letter
What?
Well,
What letter?
on the bottom to the Rochester School Board.
It's under
yeah, it's under other.
Oh, all right,
I'm on number 4 on our
all
agenda.
right, just making sure, sorry.
Yep, number 4 is 5-year plan. And policy has, there are, the date for the new board to meet with the School Board Association. That's one of the items on our list for training. We've done most frequently asked questions, those are done, so that can come off the, not the parking lot, the other one, what's our priorities, our priorities.
And that was already handled in August.
In August, okay. So I think the new board can look at the 5-year plan for policies when they start learning about what our policies are. We don't have anything big on there right now. Public comment, anybody want a chance to, are you sure, Jeff? It's your last chance.
It's the last chance, Jeff.
Okay, wait till next year now.
Not seeing any public for public comment, I would close public comment.
I have another.
Oh, other. So we have an item in other. We have the BBA-7 head lice tuberculosis discussion.
And Nurse Carla is here to represent the nursing staff. She's our expert on
We should have
head
moved
lice,
this to
so
instruction meeting, so
Patiently
we
wait.
moved all our
Such a
policies.
wonderful
day.
She's been busy taking care of our children, so thanks for.
There is no
for
shortage
joining
of
us.
that.
So I just asked Carla to join us because I know this has come up a couple of times, and she's, like I said, she's the expert here, and I thought it might be helpful to have her speak directly to the committee about any concerns and questions about the policy.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you for waiting.
Yeah, sorry.
You know what, as a nurse, I have really learned a lot from this group. I'm passionate about a lot of the topics that were here tonight, so it was really nice to be here. So, and I didn't spend any money. My husband's very thankful.
Not done yet.
Oh, the stores aren't closed yet, that's the problem.
Oh, well,
We could just keep-
I gotta get home. Can I answer any questions? I mean, first of all, I guess head lice is a concern for a lot of people. However, it really is not a medical concern in the fact that it's not going to affect their wellness. It affects them emotionally mostly, and the stigma that it comes with it, and the trauma from it.
And sometimes financially.
Financially, it is, and it is a long, tedious process because it is nitpicking. It is picking those nits off the shaft of the hair, or they will reinfest. And most of these are contacted from sleepovers, camps. Yeah, and again, it's, you know, we've overused the medications, so they're resistant. So it leaves less options for treatment. But I do think it, you know, again, as school nurses, we're more than willing to assist parents. Most of us have said we will come in a half hour before school starts and help them actually pick the nits off the hair shafts, find money for the supplies that they need to take care of it. I jokingly say we're going to dispatch the head lice queen to the house, but I don't have that power. So again, I think we're all very willing and sensitive to the fact of what these kids are going through and trying to really respect their privacy. I always tell kids when I see them, you do not need to go back and tell your classmates anything that happened in this office. And a lot of them, the minute I open the door, they go, I have head lice, so there goes that privacy. But I really do try to protect them because, again, it happens to, it doesn't matter who you are, what economic part of the society you're in. It's just, we have it. And some kids struggle with it chronically. They never really get rid of it. And I worry more about their ability to learn because of the itchiness and the concentration. But I also worry about their peer relations, their self-esteem. These kids, anything we can do to make them feel good about themselves and be positive is what we are really promoting, wellness. We're seeing a lot of kids that have a lot of anxiety, and this is not something I really want to put on their plate.
And if I could just add, I know there was some questions about contacting families, and so Carla worked with the nursing department and it's included in the packet. They had some recommendations about how they might be able to address that in a more confidential way. So for consideration, they had made some recommendations about if there's an unusual amount of cases, that something would go home, that there would, for the school, right, the entire school would.
The entire school so that you can't figure out what classroom it's in and who might have it. Again, people talk, but that's not, a nurse, we really respect privacy, and we want these kids to trust us and to come to us with what they need to, and the last thing I'm going to do is break that trust. So for me, that's really important that we just do a statement from the school that you need to check your kids' heads. I mean, it is a parent responsibility, like we say, check them for fever before they come. It is their responsibility to check their children's head if they know they've had sleepovers, if they've gone to camps. It's their responsibility to notify those families that they've been with that their child has head lice. It's not our responsibility. And quite honestly, we are seeing high volumes of kids every day in our office that are ill. So again, this needs to be a parent responsibility. And again, we are evidence-based practitioners. We follow the American Academy of Pediatrics. We follow the CDC, the New Hampshire guidelines. We follow the National School Nurses Association, and we looked at all those organizations, and they don't recommend it at all. Mm-hmm.
With these recommendations, should we see what it looks like it's built into our policy?
Yes.
So maybe for the next meeting, the recommendations that are here, because it says consideration to head lice policy.
Yeah, so that was one question I had, if you wanted me to work in these changes that
That way we can do a
discussed.
first reading
Sure,
and go
yeah.
through our process.
Yeah.
If we don't agree, then that can be done at that point.
Sure.
I think all the parents that we had heard from, or the parent we heard from, was just wanting the communication.
Yep.
To know when there's the risk of, you know, to not know. I know, it's not everybody thinks of checking their heads all the time, but, what did you say?
Well, because it's not necessarily a medical condition, is there a recourse if a parent refuses to treat, or not even check, but if a child's been identified or whatever, if a parent fails to treat or address the condition, is that a neglect type of instance?
It can become that at some point, yes. But we can send kids home, and the barrier is, are they going to treat or not? I can't force them. And I think we have to be careful, that's why I don't like big announcements to go out, is that these are pesticides that we are using on their scalps. Everything penetrates. Our skin is our largest organ. And we have families who don't have the money, and there are old wise tales of what to use, like kerosene. I've had people in this district tell me that their parents have used kerosene. I don't want any of that. And even the odors from these treatments leave lingering. I have a granddaughter who had it, and when I said I had to come here tonight, she's like, Mimi, I don't even want to hear that word. That was the worst experience of my life. I can still see myself and smell it. So again, it's just, it causes hysteria when we send out announcements. I put these considerations in. I don't personally, as nurses, we're feeling like it's hard to do. But I think these are something we can live with, saying that we would do this, because it would go out to the whole school.
Would you say head lice is in the schools all the time, every day? It's always around?
Probably. I mean, I can't say every level, but I've been at every level. I've been at the high school and I've had it. I've not gone to the middle school. And I have an age group that's probably not my forte. And I've been at a lot of the elementary schools. And it really is across the board. And it's not just our district. I've reached out to many districts. It's not, it is what it is these days.
There are certain times of year when it gets worse and better. You find, when there's lots of kids going to pools, you find them.
Well, one thing I just learned here, I always thought they jumped.
So did
No,
I.
they don't.
Wow.
And they need
I
a
thought they
warm
jumped.
body to attach to. It's not going to last very long. I mean, again, they have to have a supply. So if it falls off in the classroom, it's probably not going to survive long.
So would you suggest, because again, I was reading the same thing and I was like, wow, I didn't know that. Is there a way that we could send this out so if we don't know, maybe parents don't know either, and maybe that would kind of calm the situation down?
We
Do
tell
already
them
do
all the
that?
time, and our handout that we do send out is one from the World Health Organization that talks about that they don't jump, they don't fly,
Okay.
exactly, all those things. Has to be head-to-head contact. You know, I tell kids all the time, put your hair up. We did not see as much head lice when we had COVID because we had our personal space, as I always said to kids, needs to be as big as a hula hoop. And again, we didn't see it as much. Now we're back all together, and we're at friends' houses and sleepovers and camps, right?
Yep.
It's just one of those things in life you just have to deal with.
Yeah.
And it causes all kinds of angst in moms, you know, when they get.
Well, it's
notice there's
expensive,
so much
and it's time
expensive.
consuming.
And if you don't treat, you can't just treat the one child. Usually if there's more children in the family, or, you know, in childcare, we bag up every soft item in the room and bag it for 2 weeks because they can't survive after 2 weeks. But, you know, they live in like stuffed animals and car seats, and, you know, you have to really think outside the box when you're doing treatment. It's not just doing the child's head.
Plus, treating kids that don't have it is, again, then if they get it 3 days later, you're using that chemical. So
Yes.
it's not a preventative either. So that's why these announcements make everybody go out and think they're going to treat their kids.
Well, my daughter would come home and say, Mom, I need a perm.
Yeah,
I want
they
to
don't,
learn.
they
Somebody
don't
in
usually
my
like
class-
colored hair either.
Somebody in my class has to like, you give me a perm or color or something, because they don't live in those chemical treatments. But that's another chemical you're putting on a child's head too, so it's not good, not a good thing. The good thing is they don't carry diseases and they don't make people sick. That's one of the
Not tick.
right, they're not ticks. Right. So I think fixing our policy and sending the notice home when there's a severe number of them in the school would be a good step. Anyone have anything else on headlights? Is
Oh.
everybody itching yet?
Yes.
I have a motion to adjourn.
No, I have another item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Karen had a-
Apologies. I pull my motion on.
Calm down, no, I'm just kidding. I just want to say, I've been on the board for I think over 12 years, and I know this is your last meeting. And I just want to personally say, and I'm assuming a lot of people would have the same feelings, that you've done amazing things while you've been on the school board, and you've made some really significant changes, and you've really enlightened me personally, and I'm assuming that you've enlightened a lot of other people. So you will be greatly missed, and even though we didn't always agree, I am surely gonna miss you, and I hope that this isn't the last we see of you. So I just wanna say thank you for all you did for all of us and all of the kids and all of the staff, and I'm assuming that, again, we're gonna see more of you. But I just wanted to make sure this is your last meeting, and we just acknowledge that.
Thank you.
Now you may adjourn if you want to.
Thank you, I appreciate, I've learned more than I've taught in being on the school board. So, and I've always felt that way about our school district. When my kids were going through the schools, and now umpteen grandchildren going through the schools, I don't care what topic we talk about or what level we're at, I have a grandchild there. I feel sorry for parents who don't get involved because you really miss. You know, I've gotten more of an education after school than I did while I was in school, I believe, by following my children through and my grandchildren through and interacting with all the programs and all the wonderful staff that we have in our school district. So it's been a blessing for me. And I will miss you all. I'm not going too far away. I still have kids in school.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
going to stay on the strategic planning committee for the district for the next few months and interact with that group. So I'm not going too far away. Thank you.
Well, I only joined the school board because of you 12 years ago, and some of
I
them
try not to
curse
let
you,
people
or,
know that, Karen.
I know, I just want to make sure it's publicly out there, so you guys can all thank or hate me for it, but, I mean, again, I think I wouldn't be where I was personally if it wasn't for me reaching out to you. So I just, again, I think it's just worthwhile to say thank you. Now you may
Very
adjourn.
nice.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay.
I think Dave's already left the meeting.
No.
All those in favor?
I don't vote.
Aye.
Jeff, anything you wanted to add?
Jeff, good luck.
Best